Hi, I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. One of the top questions I get is, should I start a YouTube channel or a podcast? YouTube channels are number one. Podcasts are all the rage. But which one is right for your business? By the end of this video, you'll know which one is right for you, your business, your customers, and your clients. So we're going to cover what are the pros and cons of YouTube, the advantages and disadvantages of a podcast, what are the technical requirements of each, and the big secret to 10x your results and make it a no-brainer which one you should do. Let's get started. So, YouTube channel versus podcast. Good question. There are some advantages and some distinct disadvantages to each one of them. Which one is best for your business? Which one is best for your clients or your customers? Because you are taking this from your clients and customers' perspective, right? Be sure to always approach it from that direction. What is it that you can do for them that gets them more acquainted with your products, your services, your employees, what you provide, what you do, your philosophy? All of that stuff is a great topic, a great set of information for either one of those. But there's some distinct advantages with YouTube and some distinct advantages for podcasts. One advantage that I would have to give a nod to YouTube is search. YouTube is one giant search engine. Oh, it's owned by Google. Imagine that. So how many times have you done this? I do this myself. I like to tinker on cars. I got a couple cars that I'm working on, have fun with, and then of course there's the occasional oil change, whether you want to tinker or not, or brakes or something like that. Let's take this a little bit deeper. Let's say there's a problem. You're getting a code off the check engine light. You find out what the code is. You go to Google and you say, how do I fix such and such a code? And it gives you the symptoms and it tells you what the possibilities are and good stuff like that. So how do you fix it? You go to YouTube. How do I fix this code in a this year, this make and model? Boom. And chances are somebody's done a brake job on a 2002 Mustang convertible. How to do an oil change on a Buick SUV. They're all out there. And you can get pretty technical too. How do you do rings or pistons or something like that? You can dive down any rabbit hole you want on YouTube and you're going to find a how-to video. That's what I would suggest. Start with how-to videos. Well, what questions do I answer? You start with the questions that your customers are already asking. They've been talking to you, you've been talking to them. What are they already asking you? What are their concerns? Do they need to know how to use a particular product you sell? Or are they asking questions about your investment strategy as a financial advisor, or your weight loss program, or your workout program because you're a personal coach? All of those things you can teach. But the key is marry your teaching with the questions, specifically how they're asking it. And that comes through SEO research. So those questions are out there. You just need to answer specifically what is being asked. So search is a huge advantage to YouTube. Now, what about watching versus listening? Yeah, good question. Chances are if somebody's watching a YouTube video, they have stopped what they're doing. They're going to put all their focus and attention in on it. Okay, fine, you have their attention. But then there's a podcast and listening. And statistics show, surveys show, that up to 75% of people who are listening to a podcast are listening to it while they're doing something else. They're taking you with them while they work out, while they work, while they're at home cleaning, while they're doing whatever activity it is. They're in transit, they're traveling. You can't watch a video while you're driving, or at least you shouldn't be. Unlike that lady that was next to me yesterday morning. But with a podcast, you can listen while you're driving. You do it already. You're listening to the radio probably, or some sort of music or something. Podcasts are very, very, very portable. And you can really reach and meet your listener wherever they are. Much easier than you can with a YouTube video. YouTube videos are very intentional. Podcasts are very portable. Something to keep in mind. Some of the disadvantages. Let's go over that for just a second. There's the recording, the editing, and the posting. Let's just start with that. Well, recording video is a whole nother animal than recording audio. You've got lights involved. You could actually do a podcast in the dark. Do you realize that? You really could. You can't do that in a video. Well, you could, but it'd be boring. The editing process, if you really want to go down that road, can be very complicated and very time-consuming for a video. It doesn't have to be. In fact, if you spend any time on my channel, my philosophy is get you up and running, worry about the fancy stuff later. If you can't hit record, anything after that is irrelevant. So get up and running. The editing you can simplify. The editing you can turn into a massive rabbit hole if you want to. And again, video can be much more complicated than audio. A YouTube video can take hours to produce, if not days. A podcast episode could take 30 minutes. You just don't know. But I can tell you that the podcast episode is going to be much shorter than the YouTube video. That's for sure. So what's your time commitment? Are you looking at something that you need to grind out and get up and running and don't have a lot of time to commit to it? Are you going to hire it out? Are you going to job it out? Is there somebody that you can? Do you have a 9-year-old? Because these kids are much better at it than anybody who's stepping into it now. Your grandkids, whatever. They can probably crank out a video pretty quickly, and they're excited to do it too. And all it takes is an ice cream cone to pay them. So is this making sense? Are we getting into the weeds here? Or do you need a little bit of a deep dive? I've got a video on actually editing YouTube videos for beginners, and I can show you the quick steps to get you up and running. So just click that link and you can watch that video next. So the big question, like you said at the beginning, is what do I do? Do I do a YouTube channel for my business, or do I do a podcast for my business? Decisions, decisions, decisions. There's a lot of time involved. Some are quicker. Some are deep dives. Some are easier to produce. What are you going to possibly do? Search is huge. I'd kind of lean towards that, but then you're going down the video commitment, and that's a whole big monster. Can be a big monster. So what do you do? The answer is you do both. What? Both? I only got time for one. I know, but if you record whatever you do in video, you've got both. If you have time to edit the video, great. If your 9-year-old isn't going to be around that weekend, don't worry. Okay? They can save it for later. If you want to do a podcast, the only thing you got to remember about that is there are certain visuals that you're going to do in a video that need to either be explained or expressed or something like that. Okay? But other than that, you can peel off your audio and you have your podcast. If you want to go back and recreate the video, then that means you're going to have to sit down and record it all over again, and you've done the exact same episode twice. So my suggestion is always, always, always record. Just record in video. If you don't want to do the video now, if you don't want to do YouTube yet, fine. Get your podcast up and running. And you can do that by peeling off the audio. Not a problem. Now, taking everything a step further, how are you going to promote all this? How are you going to possibly turn all this content into traffic? Well, there's a very key answer for you, and I call it slice and dice. Click below. There is a link in the description. Go watch that video. It's free. It's a free training that I go through to show you how you can take what you're doing, the macro, and turn it into a whole bunch of little tiny bite-sized pieces to either be standalone episodes or to help promote what you're already doing. Just click below and watch that video now. I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.